Welcome to White Chocolate Podcast.
White chocolate.
Yes, white chocolate.
Another night.
We're in Club Kitchen, and we have, I don't know how to get things going, but I'm just excited.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm excited because...
I'm thrilled. Give us a different word than excited.
Elated.
Elated.
Over the moon.
Elated to the moon and back.
What? You gotta come back.
We're coming back. But in Club Studio, hey, hon, we have a special guest. We have Brother Tom.
Brother Tom.
I'm so excited.
Tom, what's your last name, by the way?
Otieno.
Otieno.
Yeah,
Yes.
it means night.
Not
Oh.
I was born at night.
you're born at night.
Yep.
And
So your last name reflects that.
Yeah, so most Kenyan names, my tribe, your last name reflects what time you're born, during the day or at night,
No
or in
way.
the morning or dawn. Yeah.
So your brothers and sisters may not have the same last name? Or
No, so it's weird.
your family
Yeah,
members?
our family has like one family name and also individual last names. It's weird.
Okay.
So like all my siblings have my dad's name, but not the last name. Make sense?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So say Tom
So like Tom Otieno. So
Otieno.
Otieno is a very popular name. It just means you're born at night.
Yeah.
And then my brother was born during the day, so he has a different name.
Yeah. What's the word for during the day?
Ochieng.
Ochieng.
Ochieng. Ochieng. Hello.
Wow.
So it's deep.
Damn, that's deep. That's deep, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Tom. Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thank you, man.
This
Thank
is
you for having us. Thank you
this
for
is a gift that
Yeah.
you're here.
No, it's a gift because I feel like I never get to talk to you guys.
I know, and like it's funny about Toledo sometimes because we met, cross paths. I think
Yeah.
through a church, some
Yeah.
ministry or something like that. You're just really open,
Yeah.
so gracious and so welcoming. And I was
so
like,
kind.
Yeah.
"What's up, man?" And you're like, "Hey, I'm Tom." And we've come across. I remember we ran into Mr. Freeze.
With the freeze.
Like,
Oh, that was the first time.
and I see you frequently at Costco.
Yeah.
a few
Costco.
times.
I love Costco.
Yeah.
You're still there, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm there. That's me. That's one of my places. And yeah, we just kind of seen you. Someone recommended that we just share life and have you on our podcast. And
Thank you for having me, man. So excited.
so
So first podcast.
first podcast.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
What a
and
privilege.
you're on video.
I'm on
too.
video. Hopefully, anything.
So
like,
I mean,
Oh, no, you
Yeah.
guys look
we stepped it up this season to we're pushing for
oh, so
video.
it is all audio before.
Yeah, it's all audio.
We did 3 seasons on audio.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we're coming up on almost 40 episodes.
Man, look at God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
So, man, Kai always loves to ask these simple icebreakers questions. We always like, do you like white chocolate in general?
I do.
You do?
I never used to like white chocolate until I had it in a coffee thing, like in a latte, like a white chocolate mocha or something.
Okay. Actually, he was on to something.
I could do.
But the actual chocolate, do you like?
I'm over dark. My wife hates it. I like 50% cocoa, 40% cocoa, very dark bitter chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that.
Wait, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Okay, then
Ooh, more or anything peanut butter chocolate.
peanut butter.
Yeah.
Classic.
I dig it.
A Rocky Road. It's
Rocky
pretty good
Road.
too. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Good.
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
good.
man.
Cool. Well, let's get started, and we just kind of hear who you are.
Yeah.
And what you're about. So, where are you from?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya.
Kenya this is Africa. We're by the Indian Ocean. So I'm from Kenya.
Yeah?
Yeah, I came here when I was 24.
24.
Came for American Dream.
American Dream.
American
when you were
Dream.
Come
20.
along?
Yeah, came along with a backpack and $3,200.
Wow.
$3,200. That was it.
And a dream.
Hey, that's a
yeah,
lot.
I came for school. I don't know. My mom, she's passed on, but she's the one who really pushed me to come here. I never really wanted to come because, I really like being with family,
Mm-hmm.
especially your mom.
Absolutely.
And also because I didn't know when. I don't know. People see America. I just thought I was gonna come here in America, make money. American dream.
Mhm.
Where do you see that idea of the American dream?
Probably, yeah. I tell people the same way we see Africa through the media. you know, hearts and, you know, people from, you know, that's the way as a kid you'll see, you know, we like sneak in and watch MTV with my friends back in the day.
Come on.
You know.
Sneaking MTV.
Yeah.
Hey, I was about that too. I would, when my parents come downstairs, I would change the channel.
Yeah. I remember seeing, you know, seeing all those. What's his name? The guy who fixed cars.
Pit My Ride?
Pit My Ride.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa, this is America, man.
Let's go.
So I was
That's
like,
incredible.
yeah. So I told my mom, hey, mom, I'm going to America, make a bunch of money, and I'll be back in 2 years. You know? So that was my mindset.
Just your mindset.
So when you came from Kenya, you came straight to Toledo?
I came to Bowling Green. Because I was coming to UT, but I came early. I came like in December.
Okay.
Because I wanted to come early so I can at least gauge. And then I stayed with my mom's friend, Francis, who lived in BG.
Okay.
Back then he was a professor at Finley.
Okay.
Yeah. So him and his wife hosted me for like a little bit. So I came in December. Oh yeah, December 31st, almost the first week there. And then
what year was that when you came?
09.
09. Okay.
Yeah. So I started at 010, so I've been there for 15 years. Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
What was it like coming over and doing school? I mean,
different, lonely, you know. Yeah, and then I came in the winter too.
Oof,
So
no.
Was that a surprise?
Yeah, it was.
Like
I wasn't prepared because people were saying winter. I was like, it's not that bad, you know. I'm like, but I've never seen snow. I've never been in anything less than 30 degrees.
Yeah.
So when I came here, I was like, this is so cold. And then I had to go buy a jacket, you know. So yeah, so I came through school. So that was my initial transition into America.
Lots of family in Kenya then?
Yeah, brothers. I have 3 brothers. I have 2 brothers, 1 sister, cousins, you know. Kenya is a big family culture. So I have cousins and even people who are not your related, you still call them uncles and aunties.
Yeah.
Anyone your dad's age is an uncle.
1000%.
Yeah, you don't call them with their first name.
Nope.
Yeah.
What would you say was the biggest culture shock coming?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I think
I mean, weather's one thing.
Yeah, weather was fair. Weather, food was different.
Cool.
And also the ability to make friends and community was hard. Yeah, I think the loneliness was. Yeah, I mean, looking back, I feel like my first 4 years was a lot of depression, but I didn't say that. I just call it, oh, I'm just hustling. You know, I'm just, you know, because you're like, oh, first of all, I can't work because, you know, I didn't realize, you know, there's just so many stuff involving visas that you can't work, and then realize, oh, $6,000 a semester isn't 6,000 shillings, like Kenyan money. Because you know, if you're an immigrant and someone tells you it's $6,000, you're like, oh, I can work and make that, you know, in a week. And realize, oh, the wages back then was like 8 something an hour.
1000%.
You're like, oh man, I really
whoa.
I really overestimated my so I feel like it was more, and then also the family pressure to succeed. Because you know, most they're like, oh, you're in America, so you need to be rich, and you know, that mentality that you have that you had, your family still has. So they don't get why you're not making money. They're like, oh, I thought you're making money in America. So it was hard.
What was your major?
I came to finish up my master's in computer science.
Computer science.
I had an undergrad from back home. And then I had to drop out because I couldn't afford school. Because like I can't afford it.
For school in America, here.
America, yeah.
At UT.
At UT.
Okay.
Because I just thought it was going to be something I can do out of pocket, you know, work. But then I was like, I can't. And then that's when my mom started getting sick too the following year. Yeah. So, yeah. Then I was like, yep, let me drop out. So I dropped out for a year. And because of my visa, you can't drop out for a long time.
Okay.
So I enrolled back to school. And at Owens. So I went to Owens, and when I was at Owens, I got a job at ProMedica doing patient transport.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, hey, we have this program. If you go back to school for a medical degree, we can cover nutrition. I was like, oh, so I switched majors completely, with something I never knew I would do. So I switched to physical therapy
Oh,
assistant. So I did. So that's what I did for. Yeah, man.
that's incredible. So you came from Kenya alone,
Yeah.
but you had a relative here.
Who moved? So when I moved to Toledo to school, obviously I couldn't commute. I wasn't driving.
Correct.
So
Okay.
I had to get a place to stay. And, I didn't know anything. I know that's why I'm saying it's very hard in America where there's no, and then also it's winter, everybody's out, no one is outside.
No one.
Oh,
Yeah. So I just went into a Craigslist and I found this, it says a room. I was like, oh, I'll take it. It says like 5 minutes from campus, which is good. So I took it. It was over there off of Bancroft by the library.
oh yeah.
That's kind of far.
Yeah, by a stubborn brother.
Yep.
Oh, actually,
you're
no, that's right. That's
Yeah.
pretty close to UT.
Yeah, close to UT.
Yeah, UT.
But it wasn't what the picture said. It wasn't a room.
Oh,
It was someone's basement in the corner somewhere. It was
oh
yeah.
man.
It wasn't, but it was $180 a month. You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
I'll take it now. I'll take that now. Wow.
So it's been just a lot of loneliness, a lot of I don't know. Yeah. And so I think that's a very hard time.
How did you find community, or how did you find people?
I'm glad I'm like my mom. I'm very social, So just talking to even then I found a local church. So I had to move out of the basement and I went to Douglas Flats apartments.
Yeah.
And one of my neighbors was like, hey, come to church with me. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started going to this church, and through that I met people who were able to give me rides and teach me how to drive, and teach me how to things that you can't do by yourself.
Yeah.
So through that I was able to meet some people and build some friendships, and so that's how I started my little journey towards independence in America.
Would you say that you had a faith background back in Kenya, or was that something new to you?
No, I mean, I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
My mom was in the choir. I was an altar boy, so I was always Catholic. But there was no relationship. It was all about checking boxes.
Sure.
We'll go to church, then go out the next. So it wasn't really. It was more. How do I say it? It was more of a practice, not a relationship. It was more people. You go to church as something that you do. It's like going to work. You go to church.
Yeah.
But there was any relationship. So I wasn't. I mean, I believed in God. But there was no relationship at all. I didn't read my Bible only on Sundays. I missed service sometimes. So I wasn't really I wasn't really a believer.
When did you make that mental shift to, I want God in my life, I want more?
So through the church, I met a guy named Dave Young. He's a former Marine. And I was like, hey, and I met him when I was walking around campus. Just talking to students, like, hey, you want to have coffee and talk about all I get to, So I was like, oh, free coffee, sign me up.
Yeah.
So then through Bible study and stuff, I realized, I'm far away from God, and I need to do something about it, because scriptures are I feel like once you're at a certain age, you can't just keep running away. You're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. I'm living in sin. I'm not really doing what God created me to do. I'm not, So I think, so through the Bible studies, I at least had a concept of who Jesus was and what our walk with him looks like. And that's when I think I was baptized in February of 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I started taking God seriously. But it's been
Yeah.
You think, hey, I'll say yes to God, and yay. So I feel like most of my hardest struggles started after. Some of the things that are even when I was in the world, some of the things I didn't struggle with that much because I didn't, but I feel like once you know the truth, that's where you're like, oh, you're very mindful.
Yeah.
You're very mindful of everything, and a lot of struggles come with. But at least now, I have a relationship. At least I know what to do about it.
Yeah.
I know. So yeah.
Man. Can I dial it back a little bit,
Yep.
Tom?
Yep.
So growing up in Kenya, experiencing that life, kind of like, would you say now, when you look at America and how you grew up in Kenya, is there some similarities that you obviously see now, or is it all?
Now I do, because of the friendships that I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can at least see that, but it's still different. Especially in Toledo, at least, which is a very small town, and I think that is the thing that's hard, that with even here, is like, even where I live in a subdivision and stuff, but it's so hard to see people. Everybody's either driving into their garage, or leaving their garage, or driving to work. The town where I live in, there's a lot of people. I remember taking my family for the first time, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's people everywhere." No, people just out of the house.
Yeah.
Imagine if everyone lived in this neighborhood came outside at one time. You'd be like, "Oh, it's really busy."
Yeah.
But you don't see people; you see houses.
Yeah.
So I feel like
in your part of Kenya, was it more rural, more like built?
It was the third biggest city. Kisumu is by Lake Victoria. So yeah, so it was
Kisumu?
Kisumu, Kisumu.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of like Toledo.
Yeah.
But still, neighborhoods,
people are
filled.
out.
Yeah, people are out
doing things.
Yeah, people are out, so people are walking, it's like people are outside. Hey, I want to go to Kroger. Oh, let's walk. So there's a lot of people outside, because no one is driving. I mean, there's like buses and stuff like that, but most people prefer just to walk. So I think that's the biggest difference, and that is one of my biggest frustrations with being here for over 15 years. It's like, we're not just outside.
Yeah, we are in our own little kind of bubbles, and habitats. Like, we reside here. We can't go.
Can't go
outside. With people.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So loneliness too. So there's the other maybe we'll kind of talk about it. But a lot of people here are very, very lonely, and they really want that, but they don't know how to get it, because they're just wired that way. America wires you to be independent, don't ask for help, don't be neighborly. So, but I'm glad now. I feel like now I'm in a space where I do that. So I decided, if people are not going to come outside, then I'm going to have people come to me. So we do a lot of hosting, a lot. We just had 15 Africans today at my house.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's kind of change the narrative, and let's be an example, of what community looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
Can I ask? So your mother's grew up Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
Was your dad in the picture?
Yeah. Yeah. Dad's the picture too.
Okay.
Dad's the picture too. Yeah. I mean, Dad, as a kid, I don't know how deep you guys want to go, but but
I just want.
Yeah, my dad and I, even now, we never had a close relationship. I mean, he was a good dad that he provided for me and stuff, but it wasn't like a father, like how I am to my girls. He just, hey, I'm gonna pay your tuition and stuff. But but my dad also grew up Catholic.
Okay.
Him and my mom, Sundays, going to church on Sunday for mass.
Yes.
But that was about it. Easter, Christmas was huge. Christmas, we were able to go to the midnight service. Yeah. Which as a kid was awesome. You're like, oh, I can stay up till late, And then as a teenager, you're like, oh, there's a club a mile away. So you go to the service, then you go to the club after. It was just a very weird lifestyle.
Would you say in your town, what was the number one religion? Was it Catholicism?
Yeah, Catholicism, SDA, Seventh-day Adventists were there too.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Jehovah Witness.
Wow.
Okay.
A lot of Islams too, Muslims.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Indians.
Wow.
So you see a temple here, a mosque here, a church here, a witness what's it called? Witness.
A mosque.
Yeah.
Or
For the Jehovah's Witness, what they call them? Temple?
No, it might be something. I'm sorry.
So it was all, I lived in a very multi, where people just, people just respected each other. I remember having neighbors who are Muslim, and during Ramadan, I'll go over to the house to breakfast. I had friends who are Indian. During Diwali, we'll go over to the house. And during Christmas, they'll come over to our house. So it was a very just multicultural space.
Yeah, but Toledo has some of those pockets of being diverse in some ways, but sometimes you may not always see that. Now, I think you struck a good point at just like the culture aspect of like, that had to be very tough.
Yeah.
Seeing and being around people like almost all the time.
Yeah.
And then you come to Northwest Ohio in the dead winter, and you're like, what do people do?
Yeah. I think it was a very bad, it was a culture shock. I was like, oh, wow. Did they make a mistake?
Yeah, I was like, are you going to be like, Mom, I think I want to come back?
But also there's that shame where like, because a lot of people want to come to America. So you're like, oh, you just give up. You didn't even try. Wow. So there's that. Because I've had, when I was back home, I've had friends who either were deported or something happened and they came back to Kenya, and you could just see the mental toil.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they just started to drugs and alcohol because like people are like, oh, you go to America, you become successful, you come back and you take care of your family. So it's kind of like a shame.
Wow.
Yeah. So going back wasn't an option. I mean, I talked to a lot of Africans who, come here and they're like, they're really struggling, but they keep saying, I'd rather struggle here than struggle back home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you came, I don't know if this is too personal of a question, but did you feel drawn to African Americans, or were you drawn to finding Africans that are from Africa, or like community wise, what felt like home?
Yeah, I never found that. That's a good question. I never really found any, because also I was going to UT, which is mixed blend, stuff like that. So I feel like I had these pockets of friendships just depending on my classmates. And then the house I lived in was a very multicultural house too, which is weird. There's a Russian, a guy from China, a guy from Argentina. It was a very but also we never saw each other. Everybody was always in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. So and I think that's what that loneliness comes from, is you don't find your space because you are, people think because I'm Black that I'm going to vibe with African Americans, which is different because we're also different people.
Yes.
We have the same skin and the same history and the same stuff like that, but culturally are so different. So I never felt, because I never felt, because I'm like, oh, you don't talk like me, but you look like me. So there was that also, that like, so I couldn't fit in anywhere. And also being an immigrant student was so hard. So yeah, I mean, I keep telling people that is the hardest thing about students who come here from other countries. Unless you have family here, it's very lonely. It's very, very lonely.
What was there anything that gave you hope throughout that process as you were trying to get more established? Did you speak English?
Yeah, I spoke English. Yeah, English. Yeah, Kenya is one of those. Kenya is a British colony, so we have the British English, which is a bit different than American English, but it is just English. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like once I got a car, I think people don't realize
once you got those wheels.
Yeah. Well, I can go places now.
Yeah.
I don't have to because I used to take the bus to Owens, and it was, I'll be up at 6 every morning.
Yeah.
The bus is on back off at 6:30. If you miss it, just go back home, because you have another hour and a half, 2 hours to come back.
And in Kenya, everything was fairly close.
Yeah,
so you just
Kenya,
walk.
I walk, or I can take. There's buses everywhere. There is
good transport. Fairly good
motorbikes. Public transport is like so easy. Like you don't even. I can be at Costco in 2 minutes or less.
Mhm.
You know, because there's always something.
Always
Mhm.
hooked.
So I feel like that is the hardest thing. I was like, oh man, I can't even get groceries. So I'll walk from Bancroft to Kroger,
Oh, jeez.
and on Sundays it was
Yeah.
my grocery day,
Oh.
and sometimes I'll like steal the cart because I won't carry the bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So I'll like, oh,
borrow the cart today.
yeah, borrow the cart, you know. And there are times when my roommate will be like, hey, I'll give you a ride, you know, if they're home.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was very tough.
What was your first car you got here?
I had a 04 Chevy Malibu.
Oh, those Malibu.
Yeah, it was.
Did you name your car? Is that a thing? You didn't name
Man,
it?
I was just happy. I remember just driving that thing. Oh man, I drove to Oregon. I just drove everywhere. I was like,
You felt that, and you probably didn't have those bigger type of vehicles in Canada.
yeah, we do, but yeah, we just never drove that much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we had one family car that we used for trips.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Or right, hey guys, let's go for a meal or something. But it wasn't like driving. You can live in Kenya without ever driving.
Ever.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so different
Yeah,
than
you
America.
can-
That's
you can-
huge difference.
Yeah, it's very different. You can live your life without ever driving. So especially now in the bigger cities where now Uber is blowing up and
Oh yeah.
a lot of like Uber variations is going up. So yeah, you're good with ever driving. Yeah.
What about food though? So you came over. What did you think of our food? Give me an honest opinion.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, food. Yeah,
Was it garbage?
get trash. Food was
Literally just garbage.
I don't think it was garbage. It was just the amount of like I remember my host family getting me pizza for the for the first day, and I was like, oh, okay. So I had like 3 slices, and I got really, really sick.
Oh man.
Yeah, like sick, like my stomach was just like, oh god, we need to just eat. And then it was also hard to find any fruits, but just hard. Fast food was everywhere.
Yep.
So yeah, she said food was hard. Also getting access to good food was also hard because I couldn't drive.
Yeah.
So also because the kitchen, the place I was living, I couldn't cook because it was just I never had time to do anything for myself. So I lived on sandwiches and bananas and cereal for almost 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think my first 4 years, I think I gained 55 pounds. Easy. No, because I was just eating sugar and sandwiches and stuff. I was like, this is cheap and affordable, milk and some cereal.
Sold.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just oh man, time. Man, this is and you're like, hello. I'm like, oh, kind of gain some weight here.
Yeah, I remember.
Is this what we do in America?
Yeah, my sister was like, hey, bro, you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm just
like video calling or something like, are you okay, Tom? I know. Is America treating you? America doesn't
it's great, man. Look at me.
Look at me now. 50 pounds more heavier. Oh my goodness, Tom.
Yeah.
So you get to finishing school.
Yeah.
What was that like after that? Like, was that a crossroads for you? Where you're like, should I go back home? Should I pursue things here?
Moving back home was never an option, I think.
That was off the table for you?
Yeah.
Really?
What made it that off the table?
Was it the pressure? Like, you gotta go there and do it it?
Also, the other pressure was, like, what was I going back to? Because I feel when I graduated, my mom was still, was it still 15? She passed away 18. Yeah, 18. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. I just felt like I was better serving my family here. So when I got a job, that's when I was like, I was able to send money home. Send money for my mom's medicine, stuff like that. I was like, yeah, let me just stay here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of take care of them from here. So
what was your first job?
From a distance?
From a distance, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so I got a job at Toledo Hospital.
No, at UTMC?
just Toledo here.
Oh, just Toledo Hospital.
Yeah, doing physical therapy assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first big boy job. I was like, oh, okay, this is good. Yeah.
So there was like this expectation, like you have to make it.
Yeah. There's no
plan B,
no plan B
at all.
Yeah.
And your goal was with your folks say, hey, you gotta go.
Yeah.
But was there like an unspoken thing, like you're gonna have to be sending us money? Or
yeah,
is that the kind
something
of thing
that people do is like, like African parents, mostly good parents, they like pay for your college, they do everything for you as a kid, because back home there are no nursing homes or anything like that, so when the parents get older, that's your job to take care of them. So you're not taking care of your folks to really look down upon. So yeah, so that was my way of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna check out my parents and provide.
But is there a piece of that though that you would want to miss out being with your family?
Yeah,
is there like I feel like you would have to be torn.
Yeah,
because okay, you look at here's America, the dream of that, but you're like, okay, but you're looking at where you're at.
Yep.
And you're like, in terms of like maybe opportunities.
Yep.
And you're like, dude, I have to go there and I have to
make it happen
in order that I can provide more.
It's a sacrifice. Yeah.
It's a weird I mean
tension of that.
When you look at like some of your friends still that have always just been in Kenya. Like, are they doing well? Or is it just a big difference between
the ones I went to college with? I still talk to them. They're doing pretty. I feel like the longer I'm living, I'm alive. I realize that the most important thing is having joy. I feel like that is the one thing that they have that we don't.
Joy.
Is joy.
Tell me more.
Is that because in America you are kind of valued by where you live, what car you drive, the kind of like a very external stuff.
Sure.
That is the same as Kenya. But the difference between Kenya is people are usually content where they are. So there's, like for example, if I know I can't afford a house, guess what? I'll never buy a house. I'll just rent and I'll be at peace with that. There's no, but my neighbor is renting a house. So there's that kind of like, hey, this is my share and this is how I'm going to live my life with this little that I have.
Yeah.
And then if you're blessed to have more, then you're just okay with that. I have friends who I finished college with who are actually happier in Kenya than I am here because they have everything. They have community. They have everything they need, plus they have some money to use.
Yeah.
So, and then they're just content. I feel like, in America, it's hard to find joy because you're always just striving for the next. Especially if you're not a believer, you just want to accumulate, and then the joy, you keep looking at your neighbors, and every time you open the mail, there's a new credit card waiting for you, and opportunities, and there's a new car every day, and there's new iPhones in the market every time. So there's never contentment.
Yeah.
So
you teaching, bro. You preaching.
Yeah.
I was going to speak into that. So is it kind of? I'm not saying. It's kind of like, I'm not saying that your parents pushing you to come over was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not by it. But it's kind of almost like the lie.
Yeah.
That all other countries come.
Yeah.
It's like these lies that, don't get me wrong. I think there's beautiful things that come out of America and every single day. But you're sharing firsthand, like, and looking at your people back at home, they got the community, they got relationships,
they got everything they need,
and you got joy.
Yeah,
like that joy is like,
I think that is the hardest thing because I talk to even now, I meet a lot of Africans who've been here for a year or 2 years, and the one thing they have in common, which is so crazy, is they're like, "Man, I'm so depressed."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Why?" Because this is not what I expected it to be. They're not happy.
Wow.
And I'm like, "Would you go back?" No, I won't go back.
You want to go back?
But I just wish. I wish I could have known, the hands I'm getting dealt.
Yeah.
Before I came to America. I mean, I'm not saying America is bad. America has really provided me opportunities that I wouldn't get otherwise. But also, America isn't for everybody.
Isn't for everybody.
Yeah, you don't just believe the lie that, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna be. No, if you are, if you have a little job back home and you have family and you have friendships and you have your health and you have, just I don't know. Maybe come visit if you want to visit.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's not the demands this country places on everybody. Because I was just thinking to myself, man, it's like, so I think I realized that when I first came to America. I was like, oh, okay, because I wanted a car because I have to go to work.
Yeah.
And then I got a car. Then I realized, oh man, I need to get insurance.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just.
Yeah. Then I'm like, okay,
Then
get insurance.
Then you want that next car or.
Oh, not even that. Then you're like, oh, this car needs gas.
Yeah.
And then, oh shoot, the brakes and tire need to fix. And then okay, and then you're like, oh, okay, then maybe let me move into a better apartment. Then you move into a better apartment. Then you're like, oh, you have to sign a lease. Then you have to pay your utilities. Then you're like, oh, sweet, I'm okay. I'll get a job. Then you get a job. Then you realize, oh, Uncle Sam is taking half of this money. And then, oh, I need insurance. Oh, then dental and other thing. Then, retirement. Then you realize, man, I'm now stuck in this, what's it called? Hamster wheel of
rat race.
Man,
you're like, now I'm in the system.
Oh.
And like
You're in this.
Yes, it's like if you can't get out now, you're trapped.
Oh,
because you're like, I can't deal without a car, and if I want a better life for myself, then I think what happens is like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make more. And then making more is what leads to, now I'm not sleeping well, I'm not taking care of my body, then you're breaking down, then depression. So I just feel like that's why I'm saying joy is like, back home, people work Monday through Friday, you're done. You're done. It's like, the only person I ever saw work weekends was my dad, because he was a lineman for the electric company.
Okay.
And doctors and nurses mostly, but just regular folks. Monday through Friday, 4:00 Friday, I'm done with work.
That's it.
It is. So I feel like that is the hamster wheel that I was on for. Like you're on this hamster wheel of life, trying to just make it work.
Wow. Walk us through, Tom. So you you graduated, you're working this job. What comes next in your life?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I met my wife when I was finishing up my clinicals. Was she's also in the medical field. Yeah. So we met my last year of school.
Okay.
She was going through a divorce then. So it was all like, and that's when I really like started getting into my faith really heavily.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, oh yeah, I like you, but you're getting through a divorce, and I know what to say about scripture, so I can't be with you for now. So we became friends for a while. She like bring me food on campus. When I was working on campus, because I had like 2 jobs.
Okay.
I worked at the library on campus, and I also worked at ProMedica.
Yeah.
Doing transport. So just like I didn't have any time to do anything. So she'll make me a meal. She'll visit me. Yeah. So we became, and then she was also raising 2 young girls,
Okay.
Raising two young girls. So I remember them coming to see me, at work and stuff like that. So we just developed a friendship. Then when I finished school, I was like, oh, now we can, and then she got her divorce got finalized. after that, and we just became friends again. And then we're like, I really like you. Yeah. And then we started dating, got engaged a year or 2 years after. It was a very short engagement because I know we dated for a while, got engaged, then we got married like a few months after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing you would have did in your culture back home?
No.
What's the differences there?
Good question.
Now things have changed, but you know, I call it BC, before Christ. There's a lot of come we stay, let's just move in together. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you know, then get married. Maybe it's all just a lot of people.
You saw that a lot back home?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I think my dad's generations were the one that really married. You know, so I mean, you're like a girlfriend, but marriage was like the last thing. It's like you have to be sure this is gonna be your, because divorce isn't like here. We're like, oh, you know, divorce. Yeah, I don't see a lot of divorced couples back home. I see people who just separate because they live together. Like, I don't want to separate. But yeah, you don't see a lot of marriages, especially our age back then. People didn't get married because you're like, oh, you gotta get locked up. You know, just it's what go have fun. So fun is more better than being married and being tied down. So
I see.
so people my age didn't really get married. Like I see in America here, like, oh, I'm 22, I'm getting married. You know, people at home are like, oh.
No.
Yeah, let me go live my life.
But if they were married and divorce was not like on the table.
Yeah, divorce is very rare. I feel like because of the culture, which is also a bad thing. It's like a lot of people, especially women, they're bound to this toxic thing and they're stuck. And then, you know, if you get divorced, it's like a very bad look. Now it has changed. You know, now women can live and, you know, women have more rights than when I was young. Yeah.
Wow. So how was that going over with your parents? Did that go over well? Did she meet your parents before?
No. It was different. I don't know about you guys even now, you know, because she's from a very small town, you know, Ottawa, very small town.
Ottawa what?
Ohio.
Ottawa, Ohio?
Yeah. You know that is?
That's where I'm from.
Ottawa, Ohio? Lipstick?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh boy.
What?
I gotta re-meet your wife. I met her once, but.
So which high school did you go to?
Ottawa Glandon.
You're OG?
He's talking the lingo.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. Yeah, she went to Villa City.
What's her maiden name? Or
Philip.
Philip.
Yeah, Krista Philip.
Man.
Krista Philip.
Oh my gosh.
Her sister is Melanie and Annette Phillips.
Probably, I don't know.
Wait, you grew up in Ottawa?
I grew up in Ottawa, yeah.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
It's
Look at that. That's weird.
Yeah.
What were you going to say about the small town?
I was going to say, no, Ottawa is big. Lipstick, where she's from?
Oh, she's from Lipstick.
Yeah. So like 40 people in a class.
Oh, yeah,
like,
very small. Very
small
town. And so one piece of the puzzle, she is white, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk.
She has to be.
Let's talk a little bit of that.
Yeah.
What's that like, or what? I mean, obviously, this is the dynamic of you know this podcast.
Yeah.
You know what?
And weird is that I just never, you know, even when I came here, I just never saw myself with a white person because it was new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, not afraid, but I was just like, I don't know. I just never saw myself. I think because of also the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna marry a black girl, and I'm gonna do this and stuff, and yes, I did talk to a bunch of, but I just know, and I don't know. It's weird. It's like even us meeting was something crazy because the place where she was working as a therapist was a building that I didn't want to go to do my clinicals, like my internship. Like I didn't want to go to that building at all. I was like, no.
No way.
And, I was
Your wife was there.
Yeah, wife was there.
Your future wife was there.
And it was the last on my, because you have to pick what buildings you want to go to internship. Okay. And that's the bottom last on my list.
And your future wife is there.
And crazy. We've been 10 years now.
Wow.
10 years this May. Yeah, this past week.
That's
10 years.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's been one piece that Kai and I have embraced when we were doing like premarital counseling and we got married and was embracing each other's differences.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing that we needed to grow in because obviously
yeah,
we got a lot of differences going on.
man,
More than just that she's a woman and I'm a dude. But
yeah,
that was the biggest thing that we could actually have.
Yeah.
Those differences are strengths together.
yeah.
So for you in your shoes, Tom, like what was some growing pains in that process? Were there growing pains?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of cultural differences, a lot of small things too, things that you're like, oh, maybe, which is funny. Like yesterday, I met a friend who we used to go to this friend for dinner, and we're talking about washcloths, and that is something me and my wife talked about at the beginning of our journey of our marriage. I'm like, oh, you don't use washcloths, huh? She's like, what is that? I'm like, oh, okay, then. This is so they're very like small things.
Yeah.
Especially her mom. I don't know, you're from Ottawa.
Yep.
Her mom is just like, I love my mother-in-law, but she's just like a typical, she's just like, hey, this is what we're gonna have for lunch. And you're like, okay, then, let's have some beef sandwiches. And some chip dip and some chips. You're like, okay. Oh, okay, Dad, let's go some meat. Yeah. That's
that is. Yep, that's my family right there. Oh,
That is
dude, that's so good. That's unreal, Tom.
Yeah, man.
I just can't believe your wife's from Putnam County.
That's crazy, man.
That's unreal.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, if she doesn't bring chip dip, something is wrong with mom. There's something is wrong.
Dude,
I'm crying.
have you guys ever visited as a married couple?
In Ottawa?
No.
Oh, yeah,
in Canada?
Yeah, we have.
How was that for her or for you?
I feel like, just going back before I answer that, it's like even the first time I went to Ottawa with her, you just feel this, you're like, and then one thing I realized about her being in a small town is they're not like bashful or hateful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're just very like interested. They're like, oh, like there's this gas station I passed to in Hamla. Hamla. I remember the first time I saw there, and the lady was like, she saw me, and you would think like, she's just like, hi, what can I get you? I just wanted some gas and some, I always get that those frappuccino drinks.
Oh,
Mhm.
Terrible for you, but I don't know, I just like it, especially in the winter.
yeah.
And then every time I passed that, we just became like talk. Then it was more. So I feel like even my wife, because my wife, we go to like fish fries at the KFC because my father-in-law now runs the Knights of Columbus.
Oh yeah,
Catholic.
Yep.
And the first time I went there, I was like, wow. You must think they're staring. They're not staring. They're just like intrigued.
Yeah.
And once you learn that, and that is the same thing my wife had to learn when she went back home. It's not like they're staring at you because they're mean enough. They just want to get to know you. I get to talk to you and get to know.
Tom, but wait, I felt completely different. I thought they were staring because
They
yeah, maybe some.
Maybe they
it
want you
didn't
around.
feel yeah. It's funny that we have different takes on that because I feel when I was in Ottawa that like it wasn't as maybe welcoming or maybe it could be either one.
I mean, at first it didn't feel very welcoming.
Yeah.
At first I just felt like you feel like
This is not to like slander Ottawa.
No.
At all. I just want to clear that. So funny, like all these different instances. And so, Tom, when you were talking about your perspective, it's so fresh because for me, I think as African Americans, it's so easy to jump that, they don't like that I'm with a white man, especially being a Black woman.
Yeah.
And so that was like the first thing that came to my mind where yours like, well, maybe they're very intrigued because they've never seen that before. And so I think that's such a healthy perspective to take a step back and think that first. Whereas I think I jumped to, well, they must not approve of this.
Yeah.
And so it's just so different. I love hearing your side of the coin too, which is kind of interesting.
We have, and I think I was saying earlier, like, because I'm African, I have totally different experiences than you when it comes to race. Because especially the history of this country never applied to me.
Yeah.
I came here as a black man. I was 24 years old. And then that's when I started realizing, oh, I'm going to be treated the same way as my other black African-American friends. They're going to assume that I know all the experiences. So I think that is something that I've also learned during my 15 years here in America, is what did the African-Americans here go through that makes them and the white race really. Because I knew those racism in Africa too. We had Africa, Kenya was colonized.
Yeah.
South Africa still has the apartheid things. Rwanda having their own issues. So every country has their form of something ism. And I feel like for America, the racism and the history is something that I never dealt with. But because I never dealt with it, doesn't mean I'm not affected by it.
Right.
Wow.
So I think I need to think the same way as you. Like, oh, maybe they just don't like you and stuff. And then you get to talk to them and you're like, oh, they're just not saying they're not people who typically won't like us for this. But I feel like I've learned in life that if you keep looking for the wrong,
you're going to find
it
it all day long.
So I'm like, that's why I think I go into even I mean, it still makes me uncomfortable. Even my wife knows, going into those spaces. But also, I'm also a believer in Christ, and these are God's children, and they're just different colors, different shades, and different experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of being like the world and be like, oh, you have to be salt and light in those spaces. Otherwise you're gonna find a way, man. I've learned that the hard ways. You're always gonna find a way to be very cynical.
Yeah.
Because the world is cynical, the media is cynical, everything is just hard.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first time I was like, oh my gosh, people are just staring, and then I realized, what if I just talk to them and see, and you talk to them and you're like, oh, you're just cool. you just haven't left this town and you have different world views as me.
Sure.
And how can my world views and your world views, at least instead of having hate, how can we find some common ground?
Yeah.
And I think like food has been very good. Food has been that ground that I've learned to break things with. Even like my in-laws, they're Ottawa. They do a lot of camping, and a lot of his camping friends are always like, hey man, why don't you tell Tom to bring some samosas down here sometime? And I bring samosas for them and they enjoy it and stuff like that. So I just feel like, I can't believe you from Ottawa.
No, it's just,
that's
again, maybe I said this before, but I think it'd be hilarious we need to have your wife on.
Part two.
I need to hear her shoes.
So we had to table that discussion. We had to move on.
Yeah.
So I want to dive into that, but don't want to go without her presence here.
Definitely.
That'd be very special.
This has been so beautiful time sharing those ups and downs. I think a key theme, and I think maybe we kind of want to land, is the piece that I think you really embrace is those relationships.
Yeah.
As I think about what you've shared, is like God, longs to have that relationship day to day, every single moment.
Yeah.
And for you to come over here to take what you had in Kenya and say, man, you had people every day, and there was that joy.
Yeah.
But then here you are in America, and you're like, people don't know each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
People don't rub shoulders with each other or do just simply doing life together. Yeah, we're doing life, but we're just doing our own life. that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of been the theme. I think that's where I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit about, the value of relationships and why those are important to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a good and bad thing too, because I feel like my need for relationships has also hurt me too. Sometimes you force things, or you get into spaces that maybe are not very safe for you. You get into relationships that are not really good for you. So there's also that aspect too.
Yeah.
And I think that's something me and my wife have learned through this 10 years together is as much as I like being around people, I need to be very particular with who I let into my space. Because I'm a giver. So that's a give. I've given, maybe one time we talked about that, but sometimes you give to the wrong people. Or you make choices you're not proud of because you're trying to give. You don't have to be that, hey, I'm also a fixer. You take a giver and a fixer and in one body. Yeah, it's not really. I'm very empathetic. And I think that's something that I've learned through therapy. Sometimes you need to pick and choose. As much as you want to help everybody, not everyone can be helped.
Wow.
So it has, most of our marital struggles have been through me doing things because I'm trying to help. Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, but I'm excited for the next podcast with my wife.
Wait, can I just touch on?
More. Yeah. Wait,
Just a little bit. I'll talk about that too.
I want to just touch on what you're doing now.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
Let's talk about that.
The food truck?
Yeah.
The food truck.
Oh, yeah. Food truck has been a journey, man. It's something that I never really knew I would do. Because if you go for school for this long to do, especially in the medical field, you're like, oh, this is my life now. And then you lose your job, Then you're like, oh, okay, what's next now, I've always loved food.
Yeah.
I've always loved, if you go on my Netflix account, it's all food things,
all foods.
That's your algorithm.
Yeah, I love food. I love culture, food shows. So when I got laid off, I always credit this to my former pastor, Ryan Snow.
Yeah,
was a big foodie too.
Yeah.
And with them adopting a kid from Ethiopia, and us doing like family dinners, I was like, oh, maybe this is something that Toledo might need. That was just like an idea that, I started having before even I got laid off. I was like, oh yeah, it could be cool.
When you were doing
physical therapy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I think when I got laid off, then I realized, hey, maybe let's try it. And I say let's try it, but it wasn't really let's try it. It was a lot of prayer, a lot of stress, a lot of.
What year did that start to?
2021.
21. So kind of like after COVID.
After COVID,
that's right. Maybe you were let go. Okay.
Yeah, let go. Then I was like, okay, maybe I need a food truck, and I'm like, I don't have any money for a food truck.
Yeah, that's a lot of upfront costs.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have 50 G's just sitting in the bank.
No.
Then you're like, oh, maybe the other ways. I'm very like, I like looking for ways to do things, as much, like, oh, so we got that trailer.
Yeah.
And the people don't realize that trailer, maybe people who've looked back in the pictures, but that trailer it was a dump. It was like $500. We got it out of somewhere in Michigan.
Wow.
This couple was selling it, and it took us 2 years. I didn't know it would take us 2 years, but you're like, oh, this will be quick.
No.
Then you realize, yeah, building a mobile kitchen isn't for the weak.
Wow.
So 2 years you're unemployed. One family income. All that stuff. A lot of stress.
Is she and your wife still working?
Yeah, she's still working then.
At the hospital?
Yeah.
Doing physical therapy stuff?
No, occupational therapy.
Okay.
So she left doing clinical work. Now she works from home.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I had to, daycare was also closed. So I had to stay home with the baby.
Wow.
Via was the baby now. I think she was like 3 or 4 when that happened.
Okay.
She was young. So I think those 2 years was hard because also, in America, it makes you be on this lifestyle, like to income. So you have mortgage and stuff and car notes, stuff like that, And then you realize, oh my gosh, we can do this. It was a very stressful time building the food truck. Then, obviously you guys know we built it and it was well received.
Very well received.
And your focus of food is
Swahili food, Kenyan food.
All right.
Yeah. So
one of a kind, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah. Very, very unique. Which, talking, I don't know if I should say this, maybe, well, I'll say it anyways. But when I first started my food, I thought it will be the thing that will bring me and the African American side together.
Wow.
Because I was like, oh, this is it. Maybe we have different experiences.
Yeah.
But at least that maybe food can be the thing that brings that together.
Yeah.
Then I realized that was also hard.
With that comes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe, because people who are born here also have different cuisines, stuff like that.
Sure.
So just because we are like the same color doesn't mean our food is, doesn't mean that they're going to like or talk on your food. So that's been a very hard thing to navigate. I'm very grateful for the ones who've been very, very, willing to try it and accept it and go with it, but yeah, it's hard, it's been hard because like crazy, because for a East African food truck, for most of 80% of my clients are white people. Which is crazy. You're like, oh, that is wild to me,
That's what you need. I mean,
because you say that out loud and it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also I think it goes back to, maybe because I'm Black and I'm African, doesn't mean me and African Americans have the same experiences.
Yeah.
So that's been a very hard field to also navigate that too.
Yeah.
But
so for the people that are listening, where can they maybe find you or look to trying your food or link up with you or see you?
Right now, I don't know, we're kind of looking into getting our second food truck,
No way.
up and running. Because I don't know, you guys know our truck was stolen?
Yes.
That was
so, the community has been very amazing. God has been very faithful, and the people that gave, we were able to get a new truck.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to be launching here I already have some gigs booked in June, so I'm hoping by June we should be up and running.
Yeah.
But we're on Instagram, Facebook, Jikoni Toledo.
Jikoni Toledo.
Yeah, but I always say the best way, just if you see my food truck, there's a number there. Just give me a call. It's quick for me to give you a call back than for me to check my social or check my email.
Yeah.
Just call me, leave a voice note, something. It's quicker. But we have also a website where you can go look at events. You can go book a class. We also do like
no way, you're
in-person.
doing classes?
Yeah.
Tom.
I know. I do. We do in-person cooking classes.
You do couples classes?
Yeah.
Oh man, we're down.
Yeah, we do couples classes.
We're down.
No, we do birthdays. We do big. I did one with BGSU, like 30 kids.
Hey.
So, but I think it was. I wanted, especially in the Black spaces.
Come on.
I wanted people to experience my food more intimately. And I was like, oh, what if we cook together? So
it's special.
And that was very good because I think it opened up. But like, oh, it's just stuff that you can find at the store. It's not something crazy. It's not what people see on the media, stuff like that,
Yeah.
It's not it's not really spicy it's not really spicy and hot and stuff like that. So I feel like it was a way for me to bring my kitchen to your kitchen and for you to see, oh, it's just cool. It's just simple. So it's been good to do that. Yeah. So
do you sense that doing, being part of this food truck and having, sessions and cooking with people, you feel like there's joy found in that?
Yeah, so a lot of joy, especially for people who've never had African food ever, and also I think it makes people understand that Africa is a big continent.
Mm.
You know, it's like, you know, like I keep having, you know, the church I go to now, we're having a lot of Africans come in from Nigeria, from Ghana, Rwanda. And even us, you know, we're so different. You know, which is so nice to see. It's like we all bring different things to the table.
I have an interesting question.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not so interesting on your end receiving this, but what do you think about African Americans trying your food and that being like an intimate thing of like, this is from our homeland, and you're experiencing and eating something from home?
Yeah.
Like that's what it comes to my own. Because I actually never had your food.
Yeah, whoa.
It makes me sad. But when I think about that, I think about, oh my goodness, like this is a part of where I'm from in a sense or in a way.
In a way.
And you can share that or see the joy in my face of like, man, wow, this is so different.
Yeah.
These different tasteful things, you know, but can be such a layer of healing of like, oh my goodness, like this is something from where I derived from.
Yeah, because, you know, I feel like, you know, as much, I don't know if you guys watch that show on Netflix, High on the Hog. It's like a documentary that showcases black food and African food and how they tie together. Thing.
That's cool.
And I feel like, it gives a lot of, you know, people in the African American, they're like, oh yeah, this is what could have been. You know, sometimes, because that is the one thing most people who go to Africa, especially African Americans, they go back to Africa, they're like, oh my gosh, it's like you feel this sense of, you feel like, you know how like you have that missing piece in your puzzle, and then you pick it up somewhere and then you put it on your puzzle, like,
Wow.
You know, like every black person from America who's been to Africa, they just feel this sense like they belong a little bit.
Yeah.
That there's this a bit of home.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to be, I can just be me, you know, so so I feel like I wanna get into those spaces more. I wanna get into the immigrant spaces more.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, God has been really pushing me towards that, showcasing a lot of immigrant African cuisine. So I feel like, you know, my goal is to eventually have a space in Toledo where you can come in and every month there'll be an immigrant chef.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's my goal. It's not just Kenya.
Yeah.
You know, it can be Rwanda, Congo, Argentina, India.
You name it.
Just name it. A space where immigrant people who've never had a chance to showcase, or like they don't have the ability to cook for a lot of people at one time, have a space where they can cook and share their culture and share their, you know, so that's my, you know, I think that's my biggest prayer, is to have a space like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sweet, Tom.
Yeah.
Man, Tom. Man, we closer together than we know, man.
I know, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's like I feel you guys are the first. I've never. It's hard to see biracial couples who's the, you know, white. The man is white, the wife is. It's hard to see.
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
know,
it's not as common.
Yeah, and then to find one who's also the same place as your wife, you're like, oh my! I feel like we just need to go to Ottawa.
We do. We all just need to
and
go.
just sit somewhere.
Let's go
and just have go to Ottawa Brewing Company. You been there?
What?
Is that the new one?
The new one, Ottawa Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah, that's a new one.
Oh, that's nice.
That's one.
I think one of my old classmates started at.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, look at that.
My mom keeps me in tune. My parents don't actually live there anymore. They live in Findlay now. They moved, but that's another story. It's all good. My parents still go there on the regular.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They have friends and things.
Still back
that's
home.
so crazy,
yeah.
Tom.
Yeah.
With all that being said,
I think that's a good way to wrap up tonight. I want to respect your time.
I can't wait,
Tom. But Tom, thank you for.
Yeah, man.
Man, I've been so blessed.
I just feel what you shared in your unique experience is like I think it has a lot of truth to be told about people and what we really need at the end of the day. It's not the next thing. It's just people.
Yeah.
And God really desires that for us. He gives us people, but sometimes we just get caught up in ourselves.
Yeah.
As Americans, we do.
We don't go outside and be with people. And I think he just encouraged me to continue to pursue people, even though sometimes we just get caught up in ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm just really excited for you and with the food truck and
thank you, man.
where God is taking you. And so, man, thank you for
You're
sharing.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
And
thank you for an amazing time and
fun.
A voice to share with other people.
Yeah. So anything else, Kai?
No, I'm so blessed.
We gotta get your wife on here too. So.
Part 2.
We'll have to do part 2, absolutely. So
you 2 honor ones.
The Ottawa, Putnam counties.
The POG.
Man,
thank you so much, man.
Yeah, it's been good. We'll see you all next time.
God bless.
Peace.
Bye.